Stace. Goodbye.
This is 7 News with Chris Reason.
Good afternoon, it's 4 o'clock and these are the stories making headlines right now. Record-breaking donations flood in as the country looks to rebuild from the devastating bushfires. Mining billionaire Andrew Forrest pledging $70 million as fears grow ahead of more dangerous conditions. The British royal family in turmoil. Harry and Meghan stun the world and the Queen as they declare they are quitting to go their own way. Donald Trump appears to pull the United States back from the brink of war in the Middle East, while our Prime Minister confirms Australian troops will remain where they are. And theories grow over what caused a devastating Boeing plane crash which killed 176 people. But first at 4, bushfire donation records have again been broken today with another staggering amount of money pledged to the bushfire recovery effort. One mining billionaire has offered an extraordinary $70 million, with more coming from state and federal governments, just as the country braces for another deadly fire day tomorrow. For more, let's go to political reporter Jennifer Beshwati in Canberra. Jen, let's start with the government's new funding offers.
Well, Chris, today's pledge is $60 million. Now, this will come out of that $2 billion National Recovery Agency Fund that the Prime Minister announced at the weekend. This is targeted for immediate relief to help councils rebuild those hard-hit towns. The initial payments are about $1 million to 42 of the most severely impacted councils in New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia and Queensland. It'll help quickly rebuild vital infrastructure, anything that's owned by the local government. In fact, there are no questions here. The Prime Minister says the $1 million will start hitting each council's bank accounts from tomorrow. The Prime Minister says he trusts that they'll spend it wisely.
Now, this can go to supplementing the work that is being done to support the rehabilitation of local infrastructure. It can be on local roads. It can be on restoration of facilities. It can be providing staff and services support in their local areas to assist with whatever the need may be.
Now, also today, it's not just governments that are emptying their pockets, as you mentioned, Chris. Donations have poured in from across the globe, tens of millions of dollars to date. Though today we've seen an extraordinary contribution from philanthropist and mining magnate Andrew Twiggy Forrest, pledging $70 million. 20 of that will go towards immediate support for firefighters and communities. $50 million will go towards a fund to find preventative measures into the future. He was speaking in WA this afternoon.
They won't all be needed at once, but Minderoo Foundation will be standing with your communities to make sure when you need people, when you need skills, we will be there as much as we are able, from our family to yours.
Now, the New South Wales government has also made an announcement today pledging $1 billion over the next 2 years to also rebuild those hard-hit towns. That'll go towards vital infrastructure, roads, schools, anything that has been impacted by these blazes. And we also understand that another billionaire, Gina Rinehart, has made a contribution, though she won't reveal the amount. The Prime Minister today thanked everyone for their generosity. In times like this, we are seeing the best of Australians and the best of everyone from across the globe. But he also pointed out that as the money flows in, there needs to be proper coordination to ensure that those that need it most get the money as soon as possible. Chris?
Absolutely right. All right, Jen Beshwati there from Canberra. Thanks for that. Now, Victoria's state of disaster has been extended as the fire danger begins to increase this afternoon before tomorrow's extreme weather. We're live now to reporter Chanel Vella, who's in East Gippsland, which has already suffered so much through this crisis. Chanel, what are authorities saying about tomorrow?
Well, Rizzo, that state of disaster has been extended. It was meant to finish at midnight tonight, but with temperatures set to peak into the 40s tomorrow, it is now being extended for another 48 hours. We'll see the winds pick up around 6 a.m. and they'll blow a northwesterly. Then in the afternoon, there'll be a southwesterly, and that could cause a mega fire if these two blazes merge. There are currently 23 fires across the state. We've lost more than 200 homes and 300 buildings. The Victorian Premier spoke a short time ago. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
We have forecast conditions of extreme danger. This means that we have every reason to believe there will be significant fire activity over the next 48 hours.
Rizzo, as you mentioned, this area has already been devastated by fires, and the message is clear. If you have already evacuated once and nothing happened to your home, that doesn't mean you shouldn't leave again. They definitely want people to leave. They also want them to know that if your area was ravaged by fire, that also doesn't mean it won't happen again. So get out and get out soon.
All right, Chanel Vella, thank you for that. And the situation is deteriorating on South Australia's already bushfire-ravaged Kangaroo Island as we go to air this afternoon. Parts of the island have been evacuated with the help of the Australian Defence Force. The fire, which last week claimed 2 lives, was downgraded to advice level but has now been upgraded amid hot and gusty conditions. And we'll have a live report from the island coming up in this bulletin, as well as the latest from New South Wales. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan, have made history by standing down as senior members of the royal family. These are some of the front pages from the United Kingdom after the royal couple made the shock announcement they want to become financially independent and split their time between the UK and North America. It seems the landmark decision was made without the blessing or knowledge of the Queen or senior royals, setting up a bitter and very public showdown within the palace. Megxit is that headline there if you couldn't read it. Now, European correspondent Sarah Greenhalgh has more from London.
Well, for Harry and Meghan to quit the royal family is huge, but for them to resign without consulting the Queen is extraordinary. Her Majesty is said to be hurt and disappointed. The couple made this announcement via their Instagram account, posting, "After many months of reflection and internal discussions, we have chosen to make a transition this year in starting to carve out a progressive new role within this institution. We intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and work to becoming financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen." The Duke and Duchess of Sussex also announced that they will be splitting the locations where they spend their time. Half of it here in the UK, half of it in North America. There is speculation that will likely be in Canada, where the couple recently enjoyed a 6-week break. Now, they've also made mention of their son, baby Archie. They say this decision will enable him to grow up appreciating the royal tradition into which he was born, but it will allow their family space to focus on a new chapter. There has also been a lot of talk about what their financial independence will look like. Will Meghan, a former actress, go back to acting? Will she star in another US drama? What will Harry, a former army officer, do to make money?
There's all sorts of issues here. Who's going to pay for their security? Are they going to have Scotland Yard guys flying backwards and forwards to Canada, spending hundreds of thousands of pounds of taxpayers' money?
One thing is for sure, the Queen is not impressed. This is the statement released from her office. Discussions with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are at an early stage. We understand their desire to take a different approach, but these are complicated issues that will take time to work through. The fact the Queen herself is describing things as complicated says it all.
Sarah Greenhalgh there, and as the couple made their stunning announcement, they also took the unprecedented step of launching their own brand new website, which goes into in-depth detail on their motives, plans for the future, and even their financial arrangements and payments. The site can be found at sussexroyal.com. sussexroyal.com. US President Donald Trump appears to have stepped back from the brink of a possible war with Iran after missiles were launched at American forces in Iraq. There were no casualties in the attack, and President Trump now says he will only respond with economic sanctions. We'll go live to Ashley Mullaney in a moment at the White House, but first, her report on the unfolding situation.
The United States and Iran stood on the brink of war after Iran launched a salvo of short-range missiles at 2 Iraqi bases housing American troops. Revenge, Iran said, for America's killing of Iran's top general. The stakes were high when President Donald Trump approached the podium to outline America's response.
I'm pleased to inform you the American people should be extremely grateful and happy. No Americans were harmed in last night's attack by the Iranian regime. We suffered no casualties. All of our soldiers are safe, and only minimal damage was sustained at our military bases.
The president revealing he would only retaliate with economic sanctions. No US counterstrike for now, no conventional war, at least not yet.
Iran appears to be standing down, which is a good thing for all parties concerned and a very good thing for the world.
Iran, which has been consumed by a dangerous mix of humiliation and rage that the US picked off its second most powerful official with a drone, immediately claimed total victory, making wild and false claims on state TV that its attacks killed dozens of American troops, destroyed equipment and crushed American bones. The Ayatollah telling crowds he dealt America a slap in the face. The reality was far more modest. Satellite images showed just 5 missiles hit the al-Assad base in western Iraq and did only minor damage. No casualties, no crushed American bones.
The Supreme Leader called the strike a slap in the face. I would call it a slap on the wrist. It was really pretty minimal, and that was clearly the intent of the Iranian regime, was not to kill Americans.
America's defence chiefs are crediting an early warning system with helping to limit the damage, giving troops time to get to the bunkers before missiles hit.
Live to US Bureau Chief Ashley Mullaney, who's outside the White House in Washington, D.C. for us this afternoon. Ashley, what's been the reaction to President Trump's address?
Well, largely relief, I think, Chris, that the situation seems to have stabilised. Relief here in America, but also amongst American allies. Prime Minister Scott Morrison confirming after a meeting with the National Security Committee that Australian forces will continue their mission in Iraq, welcoming news of this de-escalation.
Our priority right now is the safety and security of Australians, and along with all other coalition personnel. As I've said before, Australia wants to see and has encouraged restraint and de-escalation, and I welcome President Trump's statement overnight.
The threat is far from over, though, Chris. The concern is that Iranian proxies in the Middle East could continue to stir up trouble for American and allied troops in the region there. So that is still very much a concern. But, of course, welcome news that both of these countries appear to want to step back from a full-fledged war.
Indeed. All right, Ashley Mullaney there in Washington for us today. Thank you. Now, meteorologist David Brown joins us. Good afternoon, Brownie. Interesting facts from the Bureau of Meteorology today.
Yes, indeed, Chris. 2019 is now officially the driest and warmest year on record for our nation, and unfortunately the drought continues to tighten its grip across most of the country. Very hot in South Australia today. This dangerous fire weather will slip into Victoria and New South Wales tomorrow ahead of a rather cool and gusty southwest to southerly change. As we go to the satellite, some good news for New South Wales. Some storm activities return to the north. It is producing some welcome rainfall. This is the cool change. In fact, we're expecting to slip into Adelaide this evening. Rain will follow overnight. And as we move on to the forecast chart, we're looking at this prefrontal trough. This is the system we're expecting to draw that very hot air from the interior all the way towards the coast. But some rain is expected to slip into Melbourne around about mid-afternoon. But right now, current conditions, Adelaide sitting on 41 degrees. Melbourne, 31 degrees in Sydney. It's fine, although somewhat cloudy, and around 26 degrees. Of course, the local forecast in detail, top of the hour. Chris?
All right, thanks, Brownie. Now, still to come in 7's afternoon news. Was this devastating Boeing plane crash caused by an Iranian missile? Speculation mounts as Iran refuses to hand over key evidence. And why is this woman defending accused rapist Harvey Weinstein?
Get off the pier! It's a cruel summer. No! Now you're gone.
Bobby! Get away from the water! Get away from the water!
The new series event, 911.
Now you're gone.
This February, only on 7. We create the best possible seating solution specifically for you. Right now, save up to 30% at the Posture Care Chair Company, where we tailor-make every last feature to your exact needs, helping us create a chair that fits your body perfectly, guaranteed. So save up to 30% on your tailor-made reclining chair. Let us come to you and assess your needs so that we create comfort completely made for you. Call us now and save up to 30%. The Posture Care Chair Company.
With Belong, you get unlimited broadband for $65 a month on a 12-month plan. That means you get unlimited summer lovin'. All with no upfront fees for standard activation. Together, we're different. Belong.
Update your home this summer with Bob Burns Blinds, with massive summer savings on indoor blinds, energy-saving curtains, zip screens and outdoor shade solutions, all on sale now. Style your home with the look that you deserve. Bob Burns Blinds, the home stylist.
Waller's biggest clearance of the decade, with over 500 items to clear before 2020.
I'm clearing the entire range of Cambridge lounges with leather from $8.99, Lazy Boy recliners from just $4.95, Nordic starting at $7.99, and even powered lift chairs from $9.99.
We've got rugs from $10 and dining chairs from $49. Plus over 100 homewares items like black caviar from $15.95. Waller's, Mount Barker, Richmond and Tanunda.
We believe a well-prepared funeral nourishes the soul. Harrison Funerals have been trusted by South Australians for 90 years. Professionalism and first-class care are the hallmark of Harrison Funerals. Celebrate life and nurture precious family memories. Harrison Funerals, providing a beautiful farewell.
Come and meet the team at Knowles Island Star. Real enthusiasts with first-hand experience. They don't just sell the dream, they live it. So they'd love to help with your selection. A touring van, a family van. New or used. Chances are you'll realise your dream. Here at Adelaide's Oasis of Caravans. And you'll love the way they do business.
Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans.
Domino's Everyday Value Pizzas are now back to $5. Your favourite value pizzas, all with fresh dough, sauce made from vine-ripened tomatoes and stretchier, tastier mozzarella. Now back to $5 at Domino's.
It's all about you, about choices and possibilities, from inspiration to installation. Our experienced designers listen so they understand what you need and want, then exceed your expectations. We'll design, price and organise everything in one easy appointment. We'll work with you to create your dream kitchen, one that will last for many years to come. That's why we offer a 10-year warranty. Visit a Wallspan showroom or arrange an obligation-free appointment online. Your beautiful new kitchen is right here. Wallspan, where it all comes together.
Speculation is growing about what brought down a Ukrainian passenger plane shortly after takeoff from Iran's capital yesterday, killing all 176 people on board. Iran's refusal to hand over the plane's black box flight recorders is fueling concerns the 737 was mistakenly shot down by Tehran's air defence systems.
This unverified video apparently shows Ukrainian International Airlines flight PS752 in flames in the sky before descending in the distance and crashing into the ground. It had taken off just minutes earlier from Tehran, bound for Kiev. On board, 176 people. Nearby fields and farmland were littered with plane debris, smouldering fires and the personal belongings of passengers. This man said the pilot managed to steer the plane away from homes and towards a football field. The plane had been delayed for almost an hour, but eventually took off, rising steadily when it suddenly disappeared from radar. The airline ruled out human error, and crash investigators said the crew did not appear to make an emergency call. Throughout the morning, rescue workers laid out a long line of body bags. Officials said there was no chance anyone survived. Most of the dead were Iranians or Canadians.
On behalf of all Canadians, I want to express my deepest condolences to those who are mourning the loss of a loved one. Your loss is indescribable, and this is a heartbreaking tragedy.
The crash that killed them happening against the backdrop of escalating tensions between the United States and Iran. Iranian media blamed technical problems. The Ukrainians retracted initial suggestions of engine failure, now saying the cause is unknown. The plane, a Boeing 737-800, filmed by plane enthusiasts landing at the international airport in Kiev in 2018, was built 2 years earlier. The Ukrainian airline said it had its last scheduled maintenance on Monday and was in good condition.
It's a reputable airline. That aircraft flew into Heathrow just a couple of days ago. So
our government wouldn't allow that if that particular operator wasn't up to standard.
The plane's black boxes holding vital information on what exactly caused this plane to crash are now reportedly with Iran, who seem to be suggesting they won't be handing them over to Boeing or the Americans. Paul Kadak, 7 News.
Heavy rain has triggered mudslides and destroyed homes and bridges in southern and central Peru. The area around the historic city of Cusco was the worst hit in the flash flooding. Authorities say the rain levels have not been seen in the region at that level for almost 20 years. The lawyer for disgraced Hollywood director Harvey Weinstein has given an extraordinary television interview in which she said her client has been made a scapegoat for the Me Too movement. 67-year-old Weinstein is on trial for rape and faces life in prison if he is eventually convicted.
Harvey has the right to a fair trial. Harvey has the right to be presumed innocent. I don't believe Harvey is a rapist. I met with Harvey, I spoke with Harvey, and from day one, I didn't believe that he was a rapist. And I think that this band of sisterhood, I think may cloud the true events and facts.
Weinstein's lawyers have filed papers asking for the judge to step aside, accusing him of being biased. Well, stay with us on 7. Plenty more to come, including a mobile phone ban for school students looming. We'll tell you what that means for your child. And soon in sport with Jim Wilson, it's hat-trick heaven in the Big Bash.
His lead to defend his crowd. Donovan won the Magic Millions.
Magic Millions, Saturday.
Harvey Norman, massive half-yearly clearance. Huge value in the Timo 9-piece dining package, featuring a stunning oak tabletop with a natural edge, only $19.99. Many more deals in store, plus 60 months interest-free. Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance on now.
Australia's biggest school shoe sale is on. Take 20% off all Clarks and Colorado school shoes and get an incredible 12-month warranty on all Colorado Resilience. Plus, a free squishy with every purchase over $95. Hurry into your local Williams store.
I'm looking for someone to take me on the adventure of a lifetime. That's why I trust eHarmony.
No one can connect you with high-quality singles like eHarmony. That's why every 14 minutes someone finds love on eHarmony. Start free today.
If you're a fan, you'll love the Fan Shop. They have fans for indoors, fans for outdoors, fans for renovators, fans for decorators. For range, advice and the very best price, think fans, think the Fan Shop. Hendon and Cumberland Park.
Be back to school smart at Officeworks. Get a Keji A4 96-page exercise or binder book, only 50 cents each. Or this assorted 10-pack of Bic Crystal Original ballpoint pens, just $1.98.
The Stone Age is back.
Natural stone is more popular than ever, and Adelaide's best range is at Stonecraft. Stonecraft has supplied Adelaide for over 40 years, still the market leader and locally family owned. Add the timeless look of natural stone to your next project from Stonecraft. Sandstone, limestone, slate, granite and stunning travertine. Expertly crafted stone for pools, alfresco, fireplaces, steps and veranda edging. Custom cutting, shaping and bullnosing. Stonecraft does the lot. Need advice? We're happy to help with our expert know-how.
The Stone Age is back.
But then it's never gone out of style. Discover new inspiration for modern living at Stonecraft Imports. Open 6 days, Manchester Street, Mile End South. Your all-natural specialist.
We are J-Floors, your one-stop residential and commercial flooring experts. We specialise in renovations, new builds, heritage floors, sanding and polishing timber, concrete polishing, multiple house development and floor demolition for all residential and commercial properties. At J-Floors we offer a family-friendly showroom. Bring the kids, easy access car park and finance is available. And at J-Floors we guarantee to beat any competitor's written formal quote. J-Floors, honest, reliable, one-on-one service, 26 North East Road, Walkerville.
The strikers are coming. Adelaide, it's over to you. Don't miss summer's biggest hit. January 12, Adelaide Oval. Tickets on sale now.
At Better Blinds, for a limited time, you can beat the heat with a genuine 40% off all outdoor awnings, 40% off all vertical blinds, and 40% off all roller blinds. Only at Better Blinds for a limited time.
Mobile phones will be banned in some primary and high schools when students return for term 1 in a couple of weeks. Victoria and Western Australia won't allow them altogether, while in New South Wales it'll just be enforced in primary schools. Secondary schools there can decide what to do at their own discretion.
I think it's a really important step forward, and there's no reasonable reason why a child needs that unsupervised access during the school day.
Other schools around the country will still allow students to have their phones. Time for sport now with Jim Wilson and Pat Cummins. Jim out to continue his stunning form.
Boy, oh boy, he's had a fantastic year, Rezo. Good afternoon to you. Afternoon, everyone. He dominated the Test summer. Now Cummins has the world's top one-day team, India, in his sights. The Aussies flew out for the subcontinent this morning ahead of the three-match series beginning in Mumbai on Tuesday night. Cummins can expect even more attention than usual after going for more than $3 million in the IPL auction.
It's unlike anywhere else in the world. You've got 100,000 passionate fans at each game. There's always pressure. Yeah, I have to wait and see if there's extra eyes on me.
Aaron Finch says there's no reason why Marnus Labuschagne's stellar Test form won't translate to the one-day arena.
We know that he's not going to be overawed by the occasion. He's come in after missing out the start of the Ashes and dominated. He's been unbelievable, so I don't see why it wouldn't translate.
Aussie assistant coach Andrew McDonald is in charge of the team in India. Sydney Thunder coach Shane Bond says Chris Green will come back stronger after his bowling ban. The Thunder star has been banned from bowling for a minimum of 90 days after he failed a test for a suspect action.
The whole group are upset and disappointed for him, but he's one thing you know about Green, he's a perfectionist and works bloody hard, so I expect him to come back stronger.
Last night, Pakistan import Haris Rauf took a hat-trick in the Melbourne Stars' 6-wicket victory against the Thunder at the MCG. How good. Earlier, Rashid Khan's hat-trick wasn't enough to get the Adelaide Strikers past the Sydney Sixers. Tonight, it's the Brisbane Heat taking on the Hobart Hurricanes at the Gabba. Just check your local guides. The AFL has thrown their support behind the bushfire crisis this afternoon, outlining plans for a special fundraiser. Let's go live to Melbourne reporter Tommy Chadwick. Tom, the AFL has joined other sports in helping those impacted.
Well, good afternoon, Jim. It's like Christmas all over again for AFL fans. You can put Friday, February the 28th in your diary because for the first time in 11 years, State of Origin footy is back here in Melbourne. Now, let's have a look at the format. It's essentially the same as it was back in 2008. It'll be the Big Vs against the All-Stars with players born in the rest of the country. Now, each club will contribute a maximum of 3 players. Richmond Premiership coach Damien Hardwick will coach the Big V, while Sydney coach John Longmire, he'll take charge of the All-Stars. And with all the money going to the bushfire cause, some of the biggest names in the game are putting their hands up to play.
I've got no doubt we'll have the best players in the competition playing in this game.
Football stands with you as you deal with the present danger, and we will stand with you as you undertake the job of rebuilding.
So, Jim, the exact selection process is still being worked out. This is still, I guess, a work in progress for the AFL, but there is one thing for certain. The match will be shown live on Channel 7 across the entire country. Jim?
Great to see State of Origin footy back after 11 years, Tommy. Thanks for your time this afternoon. Tom Chadwick live there in Melbourne, and well done to the AFL. Aussie world number 1 Ash Barty has crashed out of the Brisbane International, knocked out in straight sets by unseeded American Jennifer Brady. Playing her first match of the summer, Barty looked out of sorts on Pat Rafter Arena, and the world number 53 pounced to claim the biggest win of her career, 6-4, 7-6.
So what a win for Jennifer Brady. She has knocked off the world number 1, Ash Barty. Straight sets here.
Barty will now play in the Adelaide International before she begins her Australian Open campaign. Australia's ATP Cup quarter-final will be decided in the doubles after Alex de Minaur's comeback fell short against Daniel Evans. After dropping the first set, the Demon roared to life. So the Demon, well, he had to fight all the way, and I'll tell you what, there was flashes of brilliance from the rising Aussie star.
Oh, that is special. Awesome from the Australian.
The Aussies saved 4 match points to force a deciding third set tiebreak, but couldn't deny Evans a stunning victory. Now, earlier, Nick Kyrgios was at his entertaining best as he thrashed Cameron Norrie 6-2, 6-2. A wonder goal from one of Australian football's rising stars wasn't enough to earn the Olyroos a win in their opening Tokyo Olympic qualifier. Renaud Piscopo's stunning free kick gave the Aussies the lead against Iraq, but they conceded an equaliser in the 77th minute. The Olyroos need a top 3 finish in the tournament to qualify for Tokyo. Their next group game is against host Thailand. So fingers crossed for the Olyroos in the road to Tokyo. It was a ripping goal, wasn't it? Just some golf news before I go. The Australian PGA is moving from the Gold Coast to Royal Queensland in Brisbane for the next 3 years, and we'll have more sport rezo at 6 o'clock.
Jimmy, good on you.
Okay.
Thanks for that, mate. Well, this afternoon's top stories are next, including Donald Trump's apparent pullback from the risk of war with Iran. We're live to reporter Hugh Whitfeld, who's following developments in the Middle East. The Army moves in as a new bushfire emergency flares on Kangaroo Island. It's official. 2019 smashes weather records for heat and drought. How did it compare to previous years? And more on Harry and Meghan's shock decision that's reportedly left senior royals incandescent with rage.
Everyone we care about is in there.
Where's Dean? I love you and I can't bear to lose you. I'm not going to let anyone else die here.
Get back! If this was someone you loved, would you just relax? Who said you could move?
Get down!
Are you with me? This has to end. We can't let them win.
The truth will always come out in the end.
Save 20% off everything store-wide at Decor Lighting. Yes, 20% off pendants, LED, outdoor accessories and much more. But hurry, only while stocks last. Decor Lighting. Open 7 days, 24 The Parade, Norwood.
You might need a shed, a garage, carport or veranda. Whatever it is, it needs to be built strong. Strong enough anywhere. DIY or installed, Olympic Industries offers superior design, strength and quality, and the benefits of factory direct. There's never been a better time to buy. Our Built for Summer sale is on now. Head into one of our display centres today. For over 50 years, Olympic Industries. Built to last.
Norwood Green captures the eclectic heart of Adelaide's most sought-after suburb.
Select from 1, 2 or 3-bedroom apartments from just $385,000, including a luxury fit-out and large balconies, perfect for entertaining.
Norwood Green creates a holistic, living, breathing community, melding landscaped green spaces with retail stores, all architecturally designed to the highest quality.
Visit Norwood Green Display Centre, 100 McGill Road, Norwood.
Discover an address like no other, truly close to the heart.
For a limited time only, our beautiful carpet and rug collection are on special. Save up to 30% off first item and up to 50% on additional items. Save 30% off carpet washing. Visit our gallery to Canterville Terrace, Kenttown.
Lux Bathrooms is having a summer sale and it's on now. All acrylic baths, just $9.99. 30% off all vanities, 30% off all tapware. In fact, 30% off everything store-wide. Lux Bathrooms summer sale, on now.
It's the Eagle Fuels Australian Solo Championship Round 5 on January the 11th. Current champ Max Frick, 2018 champ Rowan Tungate, 2016 champ Brady Kurtz, 2012 world champion Chris Holder, 2019 Oceania champ Jack Holder and more. Gilman Speedway Stadium. Get there.
In South Australia's Kangaroo Island, residents are bracing for another night of hell with hot and windy conditions pushing a bushfire towards the south coast town of Vivon Bay. For more, let's go to Lauren Rose. Lauren, what's the latest there?
Well, we're here at Kingscote, which is one of the few safe places on this island. Take a look at these pictures. This is what firefighters are currently battling. The conditions here are horrific, it's hot and windy, and this is exactly why Vivon Bay was evacuated yesterday. Firefighters anticipated the danger and did their best to make sure no one was in the line of fire. This morning, the town of Pandana was also evacuated as a precaution. We spoke to some of the residents just before they headed out.
We're just wetting down the premises and we're expecting the worst but hoping for the best, but we'll be probably out of here in the next half hour.
The Army is here too. It's been tasked with the job of evacuating residents. They were door knocking, going from door to door, making sure no one was left behind. Senior staff at this wildlife park are staying behind though. They have 700 rescued animals who can't be moved. But the good news is rain is forecast for tomorrow, so fingers crossed this is as bad as it gets.
All right, Lauren Rose there live for us on Kangaroo Island. Thank you for that. With much of New South Wales on edge ahead of another bad bushfire day tomorrow, the Premier says the job of rebuilding starts today. She's announced $1 billion to repair burnt public infrastructure, including roads, bridges and schools, with work to begin immediately in areas where it is safe to do so. Alex Hart has more from the Snow Mountains.
With more than 100 fires still burning across New South Wales and the hot weather about to hit again, the threat of more devastation and destruction is not over yet. But the state government wants to begin the task as quickly as possible of repairing, restoring and rebuilding the community's hardest hit. $1 billion has been allocated over the next 2 years to fix and replace vital infrastructure, including roads, railways, bridges, schools, health and communications facilities.
And that's an important message to send to every citizen of this state, that where we can start rebuilding, we'll do that from today.
The money will free up funding from the federal government's $2 billion bushfire recovery package to be used for direct payments to people who've been affected. The Treasurer says it will also provide a much-needed boost to local economies where industries, including tourism and agriculture, face long-term pain.
We don't want simply to rebuild these communities, we want them to thrive. And this $1 billion investment will do just that.
While the money will be welcomed on the ground, the immediate focus here in places like the Cooma Fire Control Centre is preparing for those hot, windy conditions to return tomorrow.
The dramatic announcement today by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to step down from royal duties came as a shock to many, not least the royal family. The Queen is said to be deeply upset and Prince Charles and William incandescent with rage. The decision by Harry and Meghan has raised many questions, including how the young family plans to be financially independent.
It was in central London yesterday, just yesterday, that Harry and Meghan decided, in a somewhat bizarre move, to make a very public declaration of thanks to Canada for their very private 6-week break from royal duties on Vancouver Island on the country's remote western coast. But it was where they clearly did a lot of thinking. Time with baby Archie, where they took this photo, and some deep chats about their future. Should it be in the royal family or out of it?
The beauty of Canada, to see Archie go, oh, where you are, and just see how stunning it is.
Looking back on how they were yesterday, it's clear Harry and Meghan felt a weight had been lifted from their shoulders, and tonight a dramatic personal statement from the couple explained why. After many months of reflection and internal discussions, the couple said, "We have chosen to make a transition this year in starting to carve out a progressive new role within this institution. We intend to," and here is the key bit, "step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. We now plan to balance our time between the United Kingdom and North America."
The problem with Prince Harry is that, going off saying that he wants to live half in one country and half in another, I don't quite see how that's going to work. And he wants to continue his patronage, he wants to continue to support the royal family. Is he still going to hold on to all his military appointments?
And no one does seem to know how this is going to work. I understand no member of the royal family, and that includes the Queen, was aware of the timing or the content of tonight's announcement. That was all kind of acknowledged in a short and hurried response from Buckingham Palace. Discussions with the Sussexes, the palace said, are at an early stage. We understand their desire to take a different approach, but these are complicated issues that will take time to work through. The standoff between the Sussexes and parts of the British press has been well documented. Harry spoke about those tensions in his ITV documentary last year. But the tensions between this couple and the rest of the family are also behind their decision.
It's not enough to just survive something, right? That's not the point of life. You've got to thrive, you've got to feel happy.
So now for the questions. Do they stay at Frogmore Cottage, renovated out of the public-funded royal purse? What about their titles? And what about their police-funded protection teams?
His Royal Highness is the Queen's grandson, and eventually in the future he will be the son of the King, or indeed the brother of the King. So all that still has a very large threat element attached to it. So that threat is not going to go away.
In recent weeks, in pictures, the palace has been focusing on the Queen and the 3 future kings. Harry and Meghan have now announced their bid for independence. Other parts of the royal family tonight are not impressed.
Let's get more now on the dangerous tensions between the United States and Iran. US President Donald Trump moved to de-escalate the situation, saying he wouldn't respond militarily to Iranian strikes on bases housing US forces in Iraq. Reporter Hugh Whitfeld is in Doha for us this afternoon. Hugh, what's the latest from Iran on this developing situation?
Well, Chris, it's pretty clear that the Iranian government still wants the US and coalition forces out of Iraq, but those missile strikes on the two bases in Iraq does appear to, at least for now, be the extent of the Iranian reaction to the killing of General Soleimani, and that's what the US has at least been told via diplomatic back channels. Overnight, though, further rockets did fall close to the secure green zone and near the US embassy. No one was killed, and no one's really sure where they came from either, and that is one of the big problems going forward, because the threat remains real, despite the fact that the Iranian official state reaction and those missiles is a fairly restrained response. We know that Iran has a broad network of proxies within the region, in Syria, in Iraq, in Lebanon, in the Gaza Strip, groups like Hezbollah and Hamas who are capable of carrying out not just terrorist-style attacks, but we know that Hamas is capable of firing rockets over into Israel and could target US interests there. So the threat very much remains real, even if these groups are responding somewhat of an arm's length from Tehran. Meantime, the 300 or so Australian troops who are based in Iraq look set to stay there. The Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison commenting a short time ago, saying that the situation has stabilised. Chris?
All right, Hugh Whitfeld there live for us in Doha, Qatar. Thank you for that. We've got some breaking news now, and we picked up a mayday call in the New South Wales region of Eden. A firefighting helicopter has crashed, we believe, near a dam while water bombing in an area just south of Eden. And we're going to have more on this developing story on 7 News at 6 o'clock. Well, next in 7's afternoon news, dozens of women's fashion stores to shut and hundreds of jobs at risk as a popular brand fights to stay afloat. New innovations in health and wellness technology go on show, including video games that could make you lose weight. And tops of 40 degrees in Adelaide today. Brownie has the national forecast up soon.
You are the My Kitchen Rules champions.
Our main goal was to win the prize money to start a family through IVF. And we did. Emmy would love her sister.
That's Dan and Steph back in the competition.
My Kitchen Rules, only on 7.
Protect your gutters from leaves and debris with All Seasons Gutter Guard. By installing All Seasons Gutter Guard, you'll eliminate the need to clean your gutters. You'll reduce fire risk and you'll improve the quality of your rainwater. And we have a solution for all roof types. For a limited time, we'll give you 25% off a fully installed Gutter Guard solution and a free upgrade to aluminium mesh, plus a free gutter clean. Visit allseasonsgutters.com.au.
Problem with ants? Well, not anymore when you use David Gray's easy-to-use Antex granules. Antex, rapidly becoming part of Aussie culture.
I'm the world's biggest rocking horse, and I've been here for over 40 years. Come and climb me and get a certificate. I live at the Toy Factory, where amazing wooden toys are made from plantation timbers. I watch over everyone picnic, play in the extensive grounds, eat in the cafe or browse for gifts in the shop. And all my wildlife friends.
That's not a horse, that's a kangaroo. And that's Curly and Mo.
Come and meet us at the Big Rocking Horse, Gamaraka.
At Image Robes, you can get built-in robes designed, made and installed on a budget to suit you. Image Robes are the manufacturers, so there's no middleman. Choose from a range of door finishes, including mirrored, with over 40 colours to choose from. Full 10-year warranty. New full-face drawer system with steel sides, 16mm base and silver anodised handles, plus soft closing options, all on a budget to suit you. Call or visit Image Robes for an in-home measure and quote today.
A great palm down and it's centre clearance time at Knowles Island Star. Touring vans, family vans, Hurry in for a bargain at Adelaide's oasis of caravans.
Noel's Caravans, Noel's Caravans.
Take control of your sleep with a custom-designed electronic bed from Town & Country, the eBed specialists. Are you suffering sleep problems due to conditions like medical soreness, pregnancy, arthritis or similar? Are you trying to find comfort by sleeping on a recliner chair? Town & Country eBeds offer deep-lasting comfort and complete control. Get a queen-size electronic adjustable massage bed, wireless remote control and memory foam mattress for $2,999 with in-home setup available. Town & Country, the eBed specialists.
Win tickets to the Adelaide Strikers. Just watch 7 News tonight for the code word.
Nobody knows the Adelaide Strikers like 7 News.
Women's fashion retailer Bardot has announced it will shut the vast majority of its stores. 58 will be closed over the next 2 months, leaving just 14 remaining. It's part of a restructure following the retailer's collapse late last year. It's unclear how many of Bardot's 800 staff will lose their jobs. And checking finance now with James Tower at CommSec. James, good afternoon to you. Did the easing tensions in the Middle East help our local share market?
Yeah, very good afternoon to you, Chris. We did see a bit of a better session for the Aussie market today. The investors seemingly putting behind those Mid-East tensions that we've seen over the past few sessions. The ASX 200 getting within a whisker of all-time highs and closing up by around 56 points or 0.8 of 1%. Some of the best stocks actually coming from retailing names. JB Hi-Fi up around 4%, but gold and energy stocks were among the main laggards. The Aussie dollar also buying around 68.7 US cents.
All right, James there at CommSec. Thank you this afternoon. Coffee pods for your hair and video games that make you thinner. These are just two of the myriad of personal devices making their debut at this year's Consumer Electronics Expo in Las Vegas. Natasha Squarey has more.
Over the past few years, innovations in health and wellness technology have skyrocketed, making the sector a focal point here at the annual Las Vegas Tech Show. Health tech is more than just step trackers and sensors. Many new devices are now using artificial intelligence to improve quality of life. Brands big and small are now giving us the tools to lead healthier and more connected lives. This wearable device was developed for seniors. It detects changes in behaviour, monitors eating and sleeping patterns, as well as alerting family if their loved ones have had a fall.
I needed something that would give me a little bit of a heads up about what's happening in their life.
And if you can't be bothered going to the gym, this home exercise machine should keep you in shape. These workouts claim to improve strength and conditioning while using virtual reality to entertain and play games. And how was that?
It was awesome. More strenuous than you would think for your core, but it's pretty exciting.
And coffee-type pods have been all the rage. One company with Australian developers are showing off hair pods. The formula can smooth, condition, and even help with scalp conditions such as dandruff.
It makes sure that both the delivery and then the absorption is penetrating more effectively than a bottle of hairspray.
Weird and wonderful technologies helping us make our lives a little easier.
Natasha Squarey there. Now let's take a closer look at what's making news where you are.
Hello again. A wind change is pushing the fire front into Vivon Bay on Kangaroo Island this afternoon. Most residents have been evacuated by the Army. Homes and properties are under direct threat. The hunt for an arsonist who police believe lit a fire at the South Para Reservoir this morning. A warning about leaving children in hot cars after a baby was rescued at Jepps Cross. Our troops to remain in the Middle East after Donald Trump's decision not to escalate military action. Harry and Meghan walk away from their royal duties to raise little Archie in North America. And the perfect ball, Rashid Khan on that hat-trick at Adelaide Oval. Join us for all the day's news at 6 tonight.
Good afternoon, Bethany Hisker with your latest traffic thanks to Expedia. In Regency Park, the north-south motorway is closed between Salisbury Highway and Regency Park for the Northern Connector project. Detours are in place. You'll also find some urgent electrical works on Main Road, Belair as well. You could be flying over Sydney Harbour, the Great Barrier Reef or even the Grand Canyon. Visit expedia.com.au for everything you need to book your next trip or helicopter flight. That's the latest Adelaide traffic. Now back to you.
Australia has recorded its hottest and driest year on record, which forecasters say is one reason why our fire season has been so brutal. There's not much relief to come, with months of more heat and less rain forecast. Blake Johnson has more.
We're not yet halfway through summer, but we've already seen enough heat to end last year with a record. Australia's mean temperature was 1.52 degrees above average. That makes it the hottest year since temperature records began 100 years ago. Our country's average rainfall was 277 millimetres, beating the previous low record of 314 set way back in the Federation drought of 1902. It's part of the reason our bushfire season has been so catastrophic. 25 people have been killed, millions of animals are dead, and thousands of homes have been burnt.
Australia's getting warmer, the fire season's getting longer, and the severity of the fire weather during that season is becoming more frequent and severe.
The scientists at the Weather Bureau say climate change is definitely playing a part here. So too is something called the Indian Ocean Dipole. It's a bit like El Nino, says the Bureau, but on the other side of the country. It means Africa has had plenty of rain, but we haven't.
So it was very wet in Africa. They actually had significant rainfall and landslides, and unfortunately several hundred fatalities over there.
We still have the best part of 2 months left of summer. The Weather Bureau's forecast shows we can expect more heat and more dry conditions over the next 3 months.
Things are looking like they'll stay warm for a while yet, because we do have some very dry soils and we also have some warm oceans offshore as well.
The north of WA can expect some immediate rain thanks to what's left of Tropical Cyclone Blake. But the Bureau says the rest of the country will have to wait a few weeks.
Well, that was last year's weather. Now, next in 7's afternoon news, next week's weather. Brownie's back with a full look at the national forecast.
That is unbelievable batting. Tonight, insanity lights up the Gabba. It's on fire now, Chris Lynn. Brutal. With the league's heaviest hitter. On again. Can Brisbane blast the Hurricanes back to Hobart? Oh! The Big Bash tonight, live on 7 Mate.
At Wallspan, it's all about you. We'll work with you to create your dream kitchen. Book a free in-home design appointment this month and receive 25% off. Visit a Wallspan kitchen showroom or arrange an appointment online. Wallspan, where it all comes together.
So, now that we're open up here, check out our great range and compare.
A dozen a store, there's one thing for sure, you'll never know what you'll find there. Oh, you'll find it in kilos and pounds. You'll find it on heaps and on mounds. In gallons and liters, in yards and in meters. You'll find it in Paramount Browns.
Huge stock take sale with up to 50% off at Godfrey's. Cordless Hoover Quick Stick half price $149. This powerful German-made mealer now $249, save $100. And carpet shampoo is $149, that's half price. Huge stock take sale, but only at Godfrey's.
This month, Wallspan are offering free installation on all wardrobes. With an infinite number of designs and storage possibilities, their designers work with you to ensure a perfect fit. To have your wardrobe installed for free, hurry into Wallspan this month. Showrooms across Adelaide.
Recognised Australia-wide, Barossa Bowland's interactive dinosaur mini-golf course is amazing. Your family and friends will have a roaring time. 18-hole dinosaur mini-golf, 10-pin bowling, amusements and games, a licensed snack bar, and
the best running pizza in town!
So don't forget to check us out online. Barossa Bowland, 89 Mengi Road, Tanunda.
At Better Blinds, for a limited time, you can beat the heat with a genuine 40% off all outdoor awnings, 40% off all vertical blinds, and 40% off all roller blinds. Only at Better Blinds for a limited time.
Harvey Norman, massive half-yearly clearance. Great price, great style in a Verona two-piece lounge suite featuring leather upholstery. Only $1999. Many more deals in store, plus 60 months interest-free. Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance on now.
Eat yourself healthy. Our experts reveal the fast food meals that are good for your waistline. On Sunrise tomorrow.
When Australia's brightest contestants take take on the world's smartest minds? Who'll take home a fortune?
$50,000.
And who'll get caught by a chaser?
That is unbelievable.
Thank you. The Chase, coming up next on 7.
Well, meteorologist David Brown is back with the latest forecast. Afternoon, Brownie.
Yes, good afternoon, Chris. Hot and windy weather is streaming across South Australia as we go to air. The dangerous fire weather will hit Victoria and New South Wales tomorrow. Now, dust storms are likely inland of the Great Dividing Range, and that cool change is expected to reach Sydney early Saturday morning. But right now in the Harbour City, current conditions sitting on 25 degrees. In Adelaide, it's a sizzling 41 degrees. The cool change is still a few hours out of town, and we can now pick that up from the satellite. This is it. Lots of moisture streaming in ahead of the front. It's all been produced by the remnants of ex-tropical cyclone Blake, and yet this cloud is also carrying some rain. Look at the storms too, which have returned to northern parts of New South Wales. Near Armidale, 30 millimetres in just 1 hour from a severe storm in that part of the world. But during the forecast period, we're keeping an eye on this active prefrontal trough. That's the system will draw that very hot air all the way towards the coast as the system moves through. But you'll also notice some welcome rain will follow for the southern states. So, forecast for the major centres tomorrow. Hot in Sydney, 30 degrees expected in the Harbour City, becoming very windy in the afternoon. Low 40s for western parts of the city. For Melbourne, rain reaching that neck of the woods, so around about mid-afternoon. 33 degrees ahead of that change. On the other side of it, a different story in Adelaide tomorrow. 23 degrees and some soaking rain. That's the latest weather. More details, 6 o'clock, Chris.
Well, that is 7's 4 p.m. news for this Thursday. Thanks, Brownie. Our next bulletin is at 6. I'm Chris Reason. Hope you have a great night.